mic on. Um, The announcement on disclosure of conflicts of interest, any conflict of interest or appearance of a conflict of interest with items on this agenda shall be declared at this time. Members with conflicts will refrain from voting and are asked to refrain from discussion on such items. Conflicts discovered later in the meeting shall be disclosed at that time. I don't think we have anything on the agenda where there's any conflicts. So we're going to move on to item D, public comments. We have Ms. Sandra Bettis, you want to come up? And just so we kind of understand the rules, we're not allowed to kind of answer or respond to, it's kind of a back and forth conversation, so we'll start our 3 minutes. Go ahead, ma'am.
I'm here as a concerned citizen and as a former city council member. I want to bring some issues with EDC, misuse of funds. It's my understanding that one individual was given $3,000 for the Christmas in the park. That has not yet been approved by the city council. And that person stated EDC is sponsoring the function. So why did he need the $3,000 that wasn't approved by the city council? Okay, it says the bylaws on here. It says city council approval of all programs and expenditures. The city council must approve all EDC programs and expenditures. City council approve all funds and agreements. The city council must approve all funding agreements approved by EDC. And I'm just going to mention this. City council approval of EDC board members. The city council can remove any and all EDC board members with or without cause. Okay, in the past, this person was given money according to other EDC members that never turned in receipts and supposedly bought items like drones, speakers, etc. It is now and is now renting them for profit, and the items are belonging to EDC. I think at this time we need to add this to our monthly agenda or a special call meeting to investigate this a little bit more. Thank you.
Thank you. Jacob or Ms. Martinez?
How y'all doing? Jacob Martinez, living in Odem South. Just gonna kind of bring this back up again. 15, 17 years ago, I came to y'all, or came to the city council, asking to put speed bumps in the South, or Odem South neighborhood because of the traffic, people speeding back and forth. And I know this is kind of an ongoing situation. At the time, the solution was we got to put a cop out there. It was a Band-Aid over something that is never going to stop. I've asked to put speed bumps just to slow people down. I came again and asked again once we had the mayor before you. Again, both times I was given a packet that I was supposed to fill out or abide by or whatever, because I'm requesting for this to happen. Now, before every meeting, you have asked the public if they have any concerns. And this is one concern that not just me, but others had, and I believe mentioned to you. And nothing's done. It's getting worse because now we have more additions to the neighborhood. It's worse during school, especially when parents are running late, drop off the kids. Thanksgiving break, even the bus is going to there pretty fast. There's no speed limit sign anywhere saying what the speed limit is, but even there was, we have no cop there to do anything. A cop is a temporary thing, not a permanent thing. Something needs to be done. Now, as a citizen, I'm coming to you to take care of it because people elect you to keep the city safe. It's not my job to go get signatures from people in the neighborhood or anything else that needs to be done. There was one thing I did do. I looked at Amazon. There's speed bumps that cost $130, 72 inches long. I will buy them and I will drill holes in the street and I will install them where I see fit, if nothing's done. I think this is kind of embarrassing. And the reason, I understand there's other neighborhoods in Odem that have the same or a similar problem. The reason why I stress on Hancock is because we have the Dollar General, the Family Dollar now. There's a lot more traffic. Then, when we have a hiccup or something on our main road, people cut through there. People don't stop at the stop sign. I am thankful to God that all this time nothing's happened, but the luck is going to run out. Something needs to be done, and it's not my job to go get whatever packet and fill out whatever stuff. I believe it is y'all's job to keep this neighborhood safe. It's getting ridiculous.
Thank you. If you want to wait till after the council meeting, we can definitely kind of meet with you, myself and Sal, and talk to you about that. If you're willing to kind of wait here for us. All right.
Yeah, I'd like to put that on the agenda, the next agenda.
We could.
You know,
I think that we'll have we'll sit down after the meeting and kind of discuss those issues with him, and then we can see what we can come up with for the next council
and
meeting.
just to reiterate, being in that, his neighbor there, yesterday was terrible.
Yeah.
And I see his point, so I'd like to get that on the agenda.
Sure.
Yes, yeah, with the traffic.
Yes.
I wasn't
So
there.
we're going to go ahead and move on to non-action items. Roman numeral 2, receive an update from Ms. Melanie Cooper. I just did see you come in regarding the community development block grant mitigation. If some of y'all have been kind of staying in in the loop, the county has a grant that we're going to be using to do some service work and some upgrades. Well, not upgrades, but service our water tower in the near future. And Miss Melanie's here to kind of update us on where we are with that.
Well, I have to tell everybody, we are still in the application process. Now, the funding has been awarded, but the projects have to be approved, and that's the time Odem on and eligibility requirements. We have answered, I believe, 8 RFIs, requests for information on the project elements, but there's a lot of projects in this proposal because the judge spread the money out to where it was allocated to. So we have a lot of different projects in here, and they're reviewing those. The last RFI was very small, with very minor questions, contract questions, and they did say they were going to try and give us a Christmas present. So hopefully by December 25th, we do receive that funding and move into contracting. And once we move into contracting, of course, we have environmental review, and then we'll have to do engineering design and plan, and we can move forward with that project as designed.
So will your engineers be kind of handling the entire project, or will we need to bring in our engineers as well to work with them in conjunction with them through the project?
If you have engineers who have already done some design plans, or you have something like that, they might want to see that. But as far as the complete project, our engineers should be able to deliver you a completed project, start to finish. And that's going through the RFP process for construction and everything else. But I would ask for a project manager to be designated, because we will run the project and we'll utilize a project manager from the city to work with those engineers and work with the different designs and different stuff, and they'd have to look over that project as a development. So we do want the city involved in the process.
Okay. So I do think that Ardura had done some, I guess they had looked at the water tower and actually looked at, I guess, they had done some kind of plans on it or something. I don't know the details of it, but we'll get them to kind of reach out and with the county engineers and see what, maybe hand over some of the stuff that they might have.
Yes, now I do believe that project also is gonna go out for RFQ for additional engineers on the project, so that should be coming up soon to work with the engineering company on that, so it is not completely identified.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Any questions?
Melanie, who's the engineer over there for the county?
We have to, since it's federal funds, we have to go out for RFQs or RFQ for an engineer and go through the purchasing process and keep those documents in-house. So we will go out for a new RFQ on this, there was not an RFQ originally on this contract. We have been using AG3 for the development of the application, but the county will be moving towards another RFQ to go out, make sure we have all those federal documentations and we give this a fair, it's fair in that way.
Anything else?
Do you know what's causing the delays?
Well, of course, it's the state or the federal government. No, the delay is the GLO is slammed. There is, the city of Houston had a problem with the funding allocation in the competition where they awarded they awarded competition funds. The city of Houston did not get awarded. And they did not get awarded and they contested that. They contested it as a civil rights violation. Although we had all the numbers and the rights there, that's what they were quoting. So there's been the GLO is working both angles of this. They're having to provide a lot of public information requests and they're working that angle and they're also working to approve all these applications that went in because there was a lot of applications just for our region alone in different projects. And each project has to be thoroughly reviewed for HUD compliance. So that is the issue.
How long do you think the environmental stuff will take? I mean, I know that you're not an engineer. And I mean,
Well, if everything is right, looks well, we're looking at about 6 months. If we see a wetland or is there some little critter over there, it could be a little bit longer. They might, archaeology dig. There's so many different elements they can push, but for the water tower, I don't expect it to be a very intensive environmental review, but I don't want to claim that at 100% at this time. So I'm expecting 6 months.
Okay.
At the best case scenario.
Okay. That's good. Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you so much, Ms. Melanie, for coming out on this weather, especially with the cold and the rain and you driving out here. But I really appreciate your time and you guys working on this for us.
Yes, we'll keep working on it. And as I said, hopefully you do receive that Christmas present. But I'll let you know as soon as those funds are awarded.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Melanie.
Thank you.
We're going to move on to the discussion and action items. Item A, discuss, consider, and take action to approve the minutes of the regular meeting held in November 5th, 2024. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of the regular meeting.
I have a motion by Councilman Huerta. I have a second.
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Falcon. Any discussion? Then we'll move on to a vote. Place 1,
Yes.
place 2,
Yes.
place 3,
Abstain.
place 4,
Yes.
place 5.
Yes.
Motion carries. Minutes are approved. Item B, discuss, consider, and take action to add the finance administrator, Betsy Soto, and the accounting assistant, Gabriela Arizola, to all city bank accounts. Is there a motion? Do I have a motion?
So moved. Liz,
I have a motion from Councilman Condella. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Councilman Falcon to add Ms. Betsy Soto and Gabriela Zola to the city bank accounts. Any discussion? Okay, we're gonna move over to the vote. Place 1,
Yes.
place 2,
Yes.
place 3,
Yes.
place 4,
Yes.
place 5.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item C, discuss, consider, and take action to ratify a small ticket program application with the Government Capital Corporation for financing Phase 2 of the city's meter replacement project. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the small ticket program application.
I have a motion by Councilman Falcon. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Dominguez. we'll move on to discussion. Any discussion? Anyone have any questions? If maybe we'll just let Sal, kind of brief us on this real quick.
So this is going to basically be the application for financing for the second phase of our project. We've already got the first phase not completed, but it's the paperwork's done. So we should be receiving these the meters themselves, and we'll be storing those. So this part is for the installation aspect. Right now, this is just the application. Once y'all ratified this credit application, we move on to the resolution. It is slightly lower than the original rate interest rate that we had, which is 7% was the change. So that's kind of where we're at right now. This is just for the second phase.
So this is the second phase, and the interest rate on this is going to be at 6.6.
Right, that's what they were, that's what they gave us.
So that's what,
The local code section 2271.05. We have in this public property finance act. This is not public property, is it? The police 271105. I got the statute here, and it just says acquisition, sale, or use of property. Is that correct?
The meters are public property, and because the city owns the meters, and that's what that, I think that's what that covers. Right, and the actual land, it's the
It
meters.
says acquisition, sale, and it says authority to contract with personal property. It's 27005, that's what I got. I mean,
Yeah, but personal property, when it's talking about that, it's talking about, like you said, equipment and all that. If it was property, real estate, it would have said real property.
real property.
Am I correct?
Yes. All right, I do want to make sure. And on the application, a couple of things, Sal. Get my note. It says over here, it says a month financer 5891. It says monthly and annually. Are we doing both?
The plan is to pay an annual, right? Like, right, for example, right now, like we're putting aside funds monthly to pay October 2025 to make the payment for our original, for phase one. So right. And then we're going to do the same thing, pay in 26, as we're putting money aside to make that annual payment.
It says monthly too, so. Let's check. One more thing. Okay, then.
And I can clarify that with government
And
capital, make
also,
sure.
does the obligator self-insure of property and liability insurance? We have no.
That would be a Paul Bain question.
I mean,
What number was that, or what part of it?
right at the top, it says, date, the municipality established 1909, and does the obligator self-insure for property and liability? Anything on that? I mean, to me,
I'm gonna defer that to Mr. Baines and see what, as far as the numbers and all that good stuff.
all right, I just, some of this, where's Melody at? Some of just,
This is basically the copy of the last application that we completed. Just the different numbers as far as the financial information just vary a little bit. But I can definitely get with Mr. Bain to get more clarification for you
I'll
on that
highlight
concern.
and I'll give to Mr. Bain.
Okay.
Also, it says physical location equipment after delivery, it says customers' residencies.
Well, we have to provide a place for them to place the pallets of the meters, and we do have a place for that.
Can you clarify that also?
They're going to be stored.
What was it? What'd you just say?
We basically have to provide a place for them to store the meters. And in this case, this particular financing is for the installation, but what you're talking about, like in phase one, it would have covered, we have to be able to provide a place for the meters to be placed and housed once they deliver the product.
So couldn't you put like maybe a barn or equipment
Well,
barn or something?
no,
Well,
what we have
that was for phase one. This is for installation, so there's no actual, there's no meters at this point, this level. It's actual work, so there wouldn't be a place. It wouldn't kind of fit what we're doing here with phase two.
Yeah, we have a Connex, the police building where in the back that is not being used. So we're going to be storing the meters in that Connex in the meantime until we get this phase two going. So we've already they know where they're supposed to deliver them and drop them off. And so that should be happening here pretty soon, right?
Yes, maybe 3 weeks ago, I spoke with a representative from HydroPro, and we were just coordinating, like, they're not sure when the delivery actually would be, but we were just kind of saying like where they're going to go, what the address was, what equipment will be needed, to unload if depending on the size of the vehicle. We don't think it's going to be an 18-wheeler. It's essentially 3 pallets. Is what he said, so it'd probably be a small truck. So we want to make sure that they have.
It's not that
I'm thinking big.
I know,
These little
that's what I
boxes.
thought too,
Good.
because we ran into an issue once before where we didn't plan accordingly and they didn't have like a lift gate, so we had to go and rent some, pallet jacks. But in this case, it's just going to be a larger truck, but we want to make sure we're prepared properly for it. So.
I'm happy with it.
And this is actually something that we really need to get on, because I had a discussion with Sal and Jerry Miser, our wastewater person, because we're still having to buy meters from Core Main, and because the bases on some of the existing meters are leaking, but they don't sell just the base, so we have to go and buy, and each meter is like $1,000, about $1,200. So we're having to buy all these meters that are going to be replaced here in the next few months. So we had a conversation about coming up with something different that we can do. Either we go back to the manual read meters in the meantime, because I think the manual reads are like $200 or something.
Yeah.
So if we need to replace a meter because it's leaking, go back to the old style manual reads, because I don't see us spending thousands of dollars for these meters when they're going to be replaced.
Right.
I'd rather use that money for the new ones, So that's what we're going to be doing moving forward. If we need to replace a meter, we're just going to buy the old, walkout and manual reads until we start replacing these with the new ones.
We know how to do that.
So that 6.619 locked in for 8 years.
Yeah, I mean, with our lack of,
Wasn't there talk about possibility of?
yeah, this is just, I'm not talking about, so there might be an opportunity to explore other avenues. So I've just coordinated with that vendor to come and do an assessment.
Okay.
So hopefully we're kind of it's a timing issue at this point, so it's sort of like try to jive at the same time, because,
we still have time. This is not going to go into effect till after the new year, correct?
right, because you have to still pass the resolution. You ratified this part, this application, right?
Okay.
I mean, there's all sorts of things that could happen, but we really wouldn't bring it back officially till after the new year to pass the resolution. That's when we're locked in.
Okay.
So hopefully between then and now, we might have a different,
I think we're meeting with the Water Development. I think the Water Development Board, Mr. Wilkes, is
Right,
supposed
yes.
to be meeting with him, and he seems to be willing to help us. So
He
we might
seemed,
be able to.
He seemed excited. I shared the 2020-21 audit with him, and he was happy to see progress. So December 13th,
Yeah.
we're potentially going to have a conference call with him at least.
So maybe there's an opportunity there to get these financed through them at a lower interest rate. So, any more questions on that? So I had a motion to ratify small ticket program application for the Government Capital Corporation, and I also had a second. There's no more discussion. We'll move on to a vote. Place 1,
Yes.
place 2, place 3,
Yes.
place 4,
Yes.
place 5. Motion carries. Item D, discuss, consider, and take action to accept a petition from A1 Contracting Incorporated requesting the annexation of tracts of land adjacent to Odem South. Is she here? Want to come up, ma'am? And
How are you, man?
I am good. How are you? Are you warm?
The weather outside.
Well, I don't know about the rain, but I enjoy the cold. So you want to, maybe.
Was this it last time you did that presentation?
Yes, I'm
This
sorry to
is-
interrupt, but
this is
yeah, that's what I wanted, if I could interject. So basically, when she came last time for that
I'm
workshop,
sorry. Yeah.
she
I-
kind of, I'm sorry.
Let's get on
I'm
the
sorry,
table. I'm sorry. Do I have a motion for this petition? From A1 Contracting, Inc., requesting the annexation of tracts of land. So I have a motion by Councilman Huerta. I have a second.
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Dominguez. Okay, now we can move on to discussion. I
Sorry about that,
apologize.
yeah.
I got ahead of myself. I saw her sitting there.
We're all excited about this development. I know Ms. Walker came, one of our workshops and gave a full, open hearing for the issue. So this is basically the first step in annexation. Epi and I spent a few hours a couple weeks ago developing a schedule of the process. And this is one of the first things that needs to happen after y'all approve this. Then we'll get the schedule over to Ms. Walker about, there's postings, there's hearings, there's notifications need to go out. And like I said, once y'all approve that, we get the ball rolling. So that's pretty much what we're doing here. Is just the first step for the annexation.
Well, when Ms. Walker came out last time, she gave us a plot just for one, that 4.528. That's the only plot that we saw. This other one, I don't know where that one came from. That 3.891. We don't have no plat for that. Is that
You're
correct?
talking about this one here?
Yeah, we got a plat for that because Ms. Walker showed us a plat for that, with the streets and all that. But this other one,
Oh, no, it's the continuance.
Yeah,
Those
but-
streets are on both of those.
but
So
the
it's a
plat,
continuance?
It's just one, so it's basically one,
one plat.
Yeah, so what happened, Jesse, is I bought 4.5 because I only thought I could do one more street.
Okay.
But then we figured out I could still continue with the sewer line because of the elevation. So I could still use city sewer. So I added another street.
But was that on the plat that you showed us?
Yes, it's just the two weren't together.
You're talking about the full,
You're talking about
the
full plat, yeah.
design?
Full,
Yeah, design.
I didn't realize that. So that's a,
Yeah, I need all that to do.
okay.
For the size lots that I'm putting in there.
Yeah, because
they're
there
not
be two
those little
streets.
bitty ones. That's how I need that much land.
yeah. And I mean, there's still other phases of this that y'all have to approve for it to move forward. There's development agreement and service agreements and all sorts of stuff. But I can share that with you. Like it's an interesting process.
Well, another question I had, I looked at the CAD and that 3.891 was not purchased by A1. It still has it as Compton having it.
No, I have it.
the appraisal
Can you
district.
go to the title company?
CAD.
They might not have updated.
I can get you the title company.
They usually take a while.
Do they?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I just, like I said, I saw that first one, but the second one I didn't see it. Do my homework.
I wouldn't build houses on the land of it.
Why not?
I can't sell it.
How many more houses were you gonna,
32,
32?
I think that's what, 31, 31.
31. It was
Did
31.
didn't we,
31, I'm sorry.
31? And did we talk about the sewer?
Yeah, we've met a few times, at least a couple of times before, with Jerry Miser and talked about, the water situation, the access, the sewer, how we're not going to need a lift station.
We're not?
No, there's a gravity situation that'll just push
Okay.
the sewer out. So,
So she just happens to be in a good spot right there.
right.
with,
Yeah,
with
the elevation's
sewer,
high
so-
enough where it's just the gravity is going to do the work
Mhm.
for us.
On
Yeah.
top of the hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause we-
Okay.
Because we had talked about tapping into that lift station, over there in Middlebrook,
Yeah,
but
that was-
but after we kind of looked at everything, it was the gravity is going to do the work for us. So.
But when you get around the other side, you will.
Eventually, yeah.
You will tie in, right?
But at the top of the hill, I
No,
don't
no,
have
no.
to either.
I'm talking about, you mentioned
Closer to
that
Cooper?
on the
Yeah.
workshop, you also mentioned that later you wanted to develop the one off of Cooper.
Right,
That one's all flat land.
right.
That one, according to the engineers, you won't be able to tie in to the
Meadowbrooks.
Meadowbrooks lift station, right?
I won't be able to,
They told you no?
because this side is about the same height, so you have to have a 1/4 inch drop. And so there were so many feet, and so this side is too equal, unless I build this side up, and I could, but that's for an engineer to design. So for now, I'm doing what we can for the city, that nobody has to come up out of pocket for, lift stations or whatever.
All right.
Another one. When she annexed in, it's ag right now, right? Is it gonna be R1 or
When you officially annex her in, you are going to bring her in as an R1.
R1?
Right.
That's,
That way-
is that,
We can do that. That way
The
she.
development agreement is gonna
bypass you.
say
okay,
that she's coming in as an she's volunteering herself to be annexed.
I do want to make sure it's done right.
Yeah, so she's
Sure.
already saying what she wants.
She wants,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can understand the question because right now as the county, it's called agriculture, but because we're annexed, we bring her in as whatever we want, whatever you allow, right? So if,
Okay,
so if she wanted to be an R2, that's how she would come in.
Okay.
You know, they would.
And that's what you want, right?
In R1, R1, residential, yes.
Single-family home.
Yeah, we'll make sure, yeah, okay.
See, it wouldn't be fair to her if we say, oh, no, we're gonna put you as agriculture, and then she comes back and says, you know, hey, I wanna go for the council, well, we can't, you know. So she's volunteering herself.
Well, with this new annexation, I will make sure all the.
Yeah, no, it's lots of new stuff.
Good job, Council. Good job.
So we don't have any more discussion. We'll move on with the vote. We have a motion to accept the petition from anyone contracting Inc. requesting the annexation of tracts of land adjacent to Odem South, and also have a second. There's one more discussion. We'll move on to a vote. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5. Motion carries. We move on to the next item. Item F, discuss, consider, and approve a parade permit for the Odem Events Association Christmas Parade scheduled for December 8th, 2024. A motion. A motion by Councilman Falcone, and a second. Seconded by Councilman Dominguez. We'll move on to discussion. This is the annual parade that our police department used to have. And we're trying to continue on the tradition. I know that the kids look forward to it. I know a lot of residents look forward to it. I know some of our council members here are also involved in the parade. This year, our volunteer fire department is going to be doing the toy giveaway. So I really like the idea that our fire department is getting involved in this. So it's just kind of an annual thing, and people are looking forward to it. I thought that we had kind of covered this in September, but I guess we hadn't.
You'd approved closing the streets around the park for the actual event, but we didn't cover the actual parade route.
So we go ahead and put it back on the agenda. I think right now, how many people have signed up for the parade?
Oh, I couldn't even tell you. I haven't been keeping up with that part.
No, it's more than Zoom, but I don't know, about 10 or 15 applications, something like that. So, and I know one of our council members here is getting pretty ready. I might have to ride in your float there, Yolanda. So, if anybody has any discussion?
You got time on this? I don't think there's a time.
They're setting up at 4:30 on Cooper Road, right over here.
So the time is from 4:30 to what time?
Well, they're set up as 4:30, but you're basically starting at 6,
About
right?
6.
So,
Yeah, once it gets dark, for the lights and stuff. So
Can we specify a time for the road to be closed?
yes, in fact, the plan, once y'all approve this, the plan was to share this with the public and kind of get out as much as possible so they can prepare, because we have a lot of streets that we're going to probably close down. Now, the idea also is, I met with Jerry Miser today. We talked about the plan here. So right about here, just to kind of alleviate, we're going to have a couple of trucks kind of catty corner from corner to corner. This will allow, what is this? Church Street here, and then Cooper Road, so people can get in and out. Once the parade starts to move, one of these vehicles will stay behind and follow and pick up the barricades as we're kind of going along, while the other vehicle will kind of track along and make sure that everything else is still in place with the barricades. So,
and I don't think it takes very long. I mean, it's about 30 minutes or so, unless
Yeah,
the train
it's very
gets in the
quick.
way.
right? Yeah.
It did one time.
The train stopped.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It was ugly. Yeah, you can't control it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, because I know that the public is well, it's a Sunday evening, so hopefully a lot of people are just home watching TV, or outside watching the parade, and not having to go somewhere. But
So you get with Cherry Rivera, so he can assist us with.
he will.
yes, yeah, that was something Mary had requested to help.
You
we can
mentioned that you are going to let the public know, especially the elderly, but also you'll be letting the EMS know
Mhm.
and the sheriff's department.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Sunday from 4:30 to what, 8?
4:30 is a setup time, and then the
parade
parade
starts
starts
at
at
6.
6-ish, I guess, right?
And then that'll end at the park. And then Santa will be there
Right,
to give
yeah.
gifts and see the kids
Yeah,
till about 9.
barricades should start going up around 4:30. It shouldn't take that long to get them out there. We'll stage them out. We'll
Just the kids, no adults.
Well, if the adults want to sit on Santa's lap and take a picture, you're welcome to. I know we had a few last year that sat down and took a picture with them, so, but you're not gonna get a gift. So,
Well, come on, you gotta get lollipops.
all right, so we're gonna move on. If there's some more discussion, we'll move on with the vote. Place 1, place 2, place 3, place 4,
Yes.
place 5.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item G, discuss, consider, and take action regarding the impact of an additional 3 cents rate increase implemented by San Patricio Municipal Water District. Do I have a motion? So no motion to discuss or consider, so we will move forward. The motion, the item, what is it, dies? Before. So we'll move on to item H, discuss, consider, and take action to approve the application guidelines and fees for messages posted on the library electronic sign. Have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the, Odem Public Library season.
So I have a motion by Councilman Falcon. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Alvaro. We'll move on to discussion. I just want to say, I don't know who's putting up the things on the marquee, Sal, Miss Donna.
I'm gonna give all credit to Donna. She's kind of she's wrapped her head around it a lot quicker than I have, and she's trained me a little bit. We've worked together on some things and
Well, I have
found
had
some bugs.
a lot of great comments about it. They really love it. I know that we put up the thing about the Thanksgiving dinner for the school that they have every year, and they were lined up almost down Cook, I think, to the road to Main Street, to almost going to Edroy. So they may not want us to post that on the sign next year, because I think there was a lot of people not from Odem in line getting the food. So, but I've heard a lot of great things, a lot of good comments. So I think that was a good investment. People are really enjoying that up there. So
And it also help people remember about the brush pickup and all that sort of stuff. So we're utilizing our calendars for that. So we have a lot of stuff. The only thing, it'll segue into this a little bit. The only thing is we're to just be more efficient with Donna's time and my time, or anyone else that's going to help me with this, is that we're going to require anyone that wants something up there, provide us the full display already prefabbed, already done in a certain format, because it takes a while for us to kind of finagle find the picture and add the verbiage and all that kind of stuff. So it's just easier when we require those who apply for this to put a sign up to submit their image on their own.
okay, so just kind of have it on maybe a flash drive or something.
Well, they could email, as long as they get it formatted properly, and then that way we don't get stuck in a situation where you said, well, we didn't tell you to put that down there. Right, exactly. I wanted that instead of this. That way it said, you give us the picture with the formatting and the verbiage, and we'll just put it up, if that's how we want to proceed. But it's just more efficient that way. But anyway, so these particular documents, and Donna was the one who brought this to my attention, and it came more to light.
Can you put up, do you have
I'm
any of
sorry.
that information up there?
Yes, I'm sorry. Came more to light when we actually got the sign running was because we had and it was mostly nonprofits that were coming to us. So I didn't see an issue with charging them. In fact, I would like to have that in here where we exempt nonprofits from, especially if it benefits the community. But I know there will be instances where you'll have someone who wants to do maybe a congratulations or birthday stuff. And I think that it would serve its purpose if we just charge something for it. But my understanding is that these particular documents were not officially approved by council. So that's one of the things that we kind of just need to, there's a few items here just had some questions on. So this would be the application. We have we want a 2-week, ahead of time so we can plan. And we also want to put some verbiage in here about, we can't guarantee that you're going to get it, because we could be backed up and we may miss the date for when you want stuff out there. Also requirements for the formatting. If someone doesn't give us the formatting, we can't be sitting there for, because it can take up to 30 minutes depending, because, everyone wants the right picture, or the right font, that kind of stuff. It can take some time. And then, of course, payments, that kind of stuff. Hopefully we can get to just receiving online payments at some point. But for now, we'll take checks or cash. And then as far as the guidelines here, I mean,
I got one.
sure.
On this anniversary, I really don't want births on there. Cause, it's kind of getting, there's people that.
You want what?
Births,
When, like,
not birthdays is good, like birth, like John had a birthday, birth of so-and-so,
okay.
that kind of gets in a sticky area.
I mean, but they're gonna pay for it.
No, but it's,
I think it's okay.
Yeah, let them. I mean, just.
As long as we don't, I thought you said, like religious stuff.
no, where that becomes a problem is like Betsy, congratulations from Betsy from husband so-and-so, stuff like that might get kind of iffy with people not married and. stuff
well, I
like
think we just, I think that's something.
That's
that-
where I'm getting at.
That, yeah, I think that's something.
You
that
said
we
it.
could,
You said it.
that Ms. Donna and
She hit it right in the nail.
if there's ever, let's go ahead, if there's ever a question about something that somebody's posting, Ms. Donna and Sal can kind of discuss it. And if we're concerned about, run it by Effie, if we're concerned about legal stuff. I mean, I think it's a great thing, especially like when we have Independence Day, Veterans Day, to post things up there and recognize, even if somebody wants to
that's good,
recognize a
but
veteran,
And they put on her first come, first serve. So, hey, you don't make it, you don't make it.
yeah, so.
I like
That's what they have to
I like the, I mean, I think it looks good.
That's true.
But nonprofit, no charge, the
You'll
$10
find out. People are gonna find out.
is good. And then for
We don't
business,
want that.
$40.
Let's keep the conversation.
$20.
For a business, $40.
How long was it up there for?
7
It's
days.
7 days.
I think he said 7 days, right?
See, my
So-
opinion would just be to exclude businesses, just because this can be a full-time job. Like, honestly, like the way people just do this sort of things, like it can be a full-time job. So I would like to just ask that we just stay away from businesses. Maybe we just do like personal notes, no political stuff, no religious stuff, obviously. And then
I'm okay with it.
some of these lines, and then maybe down the line, as we kind of grow as a city, maybe we can afford a media person.
I'm okay with
You
this.
know,
sir.
Yeah. But I do like that charge. We could charge a business pretty
Why
good.
don't you,
'Cause
Donna, nobody from the school can maybe come help you work the library for a couple hours?
I think our school has a media class.
Oh, there you go.
That'd be good.
They
Ask
do
them to
have-
come over for a couple of hours and
That might be a good extra credit for
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
that way it doesn't take your time and maybe,
Kind of an internship or something.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something you could talk to the superintendent, Sal, you or Donna, reach out to them and maybe they can come, even if it doesn't have to be the same kid every day, or 2-3 times a week to work on posting stuff up there, taking old stuff down and post new stuff up.
Yeah, and it's web-based too, so if we just can get you can be anywhere and do it as long as you have the proper access,
So
so.
the pricing with other municipalities.
This was from, I think, last year, or when y'all approved the original sign. It's just, y'all never, I don't think that they moved forward. You might not have been here. When this was,
My understanding is, it's too low to me.
Yeah, I think that Ms. Donna did a little research
Yes.
last year, right? What did you find?
When y'all were first talking about spending the money for it, and I went into different cities and schools that had these signs, and then just kind of meshed them together. And if you'll notice, some of the words are in red. Those were the main things that really needed decisions, like, did you want to let a business use it for sale or make a profit? That was up there in red. The fees I put in red, several other things that were questionable. Some schools said yes, some cities said no. So everything that's in red on there was a questionable because not everyone did it. So it's just,
and if y'all think $10 is too low, I mean,
I think so.
it's up to council to decide.
We're gonna put it
For
up for 7 days.
I would say 20.
I would say 24 hours. But I think that's what it was before, wasn't it? Just for
How
20
long
bucks.
ago?
Because I used to have to go up there and put the things up there, you do that every day.
Yeah,
I
they
take all the
got-
letters down and put them back up.
they got all-
Yeah,
So-
it's all done by webpage.
Yes.
How long do these other cities kind of, I mean, do they pay by the day? If you want it
Most
for,
of them are an entire week of 7 days.
okay,
And then they can reapply should they say that they want 2 weeks, it would be $20 or whatever you decide. But it is a full 7 days. It's from Sunday to Sunday or Monday to Monday.
well, I mean, I think that, yeah, I really would think that the $10 is kind of low, really. I mean, because you're giving somebody like prime spot there with traffic going through, whether if it's for a birthday or an upcoming event or to celebrate some, maybe,
So y'all wanting to do this to make revenue? That's what I'm not understanding.
well, I
Where's
mean,
that money gonna go?
Goes back in the city.
Well, Donna's taking time out of her.
And also, you're also paying for software. Yeah, but I'm not signing for the public to be able to use it. We got that covered already. So the $10 is a little extra, hey, I mean, that's probably, you don't cut anybody out, for the $20. Hey, $20 is okay too, I think, since that. You want to go 15, split it 15? Yeah, 15.
You're gonna get a gain profit from that advertisement, but it's not, it's, I'm saying happy birthday to somebody, I get nothing but everybody knowing it's my husband's birthday.
but I think if, like, I think Councilman Huerta said, some of the revenue can go back into the library because, I mean, unfortunately, because of some of the budget cuts, Ms. Donna's library budget she's made a lot of sacrifices over the last year to her overall budget. And then I think that, making
I think
this
y'all need
being an
to have an
opportunity.
itemized item where the money's gonna go to, because I think that's what gets y'all in trouble, is when y'all assume what y'all are gonna do with the money, and then it doesn't happen. So if y'all say that whatever the revenue y'all pick up from this sign advertisement is $10, it's gonna go back to the library, that's where y'all need to have fine print writing.
No,
We're
I
not
mean,
looking 10 years down the line and
Have
say,
a
oh,
resolution.
yeah, I mean, that could be an
So-
easy resolution, yeah.
Yeah.
It could be an easy resolution and, it's just some added, I mean, I don't think we don't have to go as far as like
Donna,
amending
how
the
many
budget and
messages
none
do
of
you have
that.
on there
I
right
mean,
now?
it's not that much money,
How
so.
many messages do you have on that sign right now?
Right, the most we've had at any time has been 4, and
Okay.
the least is 2.
So how many can you
We
put
have
on
the
there?
Capacity for more.
Oh, okay, that's what, they're gonna be scrolling, right?
Yeah, they rotate,
Yeah,
they
they
rotate.
rotate.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, but of course, the more you put, the less time one item has,
Yeah.
I forgot
And
about
then that's, I mean, I guarantee you, there's gonna be someone complaining at some level because their sign didn't get enough time and these are the things we have to work out. We can't,
$15, 7 days.
yeah.
For 7 days.
Yeah. I think that's a good, yeah, I think we could just add that, make that adjustment right there to $15.
Yeah, that's fine.
So if
So-
there's not any more
so-
discussion.
So
I
just
think-
to clarify, we're not gonna do businesses right now. We can come back and
Right.
revisit that, right? Just to kind of help us because we're still getting our feet wet with the process also.
Yeah.
Don and I spent about 30 minutes trying to fix a sign because in the system, it looked fine, but then when you displayed, it was like overlapping. So we were just, having
I saw that.
Yes, we got it though. So just to clarify, no businesses right now. We're gonna go to $15, right, for 7 days. And we're exempting nonprofits
Correct.
from that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they have to just show, that they're,
So you want
like
them,
the Lions
you want
Club
them
or
to
schools
show
or-
like 501(c)(3)s or how strict you want to get with that? I mean, to me, honestly, for me, if they're benefiting the community, like the Lions Club or the school has events, stuff like that, I think that,
I don't want to make it too difficult for Donna.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Ms. Donna, graduation's coming right around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that sign's it's gonna be busy, with graduations. Congratulations can you put like a photo? Like, can you actually, you could, like,
Yeah.
so if you wanted to put a picture of your graduate
Mhm.
Wow.
Wow.
But here's the thing, so like, but we're not gonna be the ones taking your picture and putting all the, you got to send us the final product that you want up there. We'll give you the specs, but you have to put, and we'll kick it back if it's not, we can't, I mean, if Don's gonna do, I don't know, when I graduated with 69 people, so I don't know what it is now. But Donna can't sit there and I can't sit there and do 80 pictures and format them and all that kind of stuff.
Right,
But,
right.
that's the only thing is we will make sure people have responsibility. for
And
that.
as long as they know, I mean, I don't know if there are computers in the library capable of being, like if somebody wanted to come, they can sit at the library and use one of our computers to,
That would be easier than trying to take a photograph, because then the pixels, when you make it larger, you kind of look like a block
right.
game. So, yeah, if they came and used it from our computers, they could send it direct, and it would be a whole lot better.
So we can just let them know, hey, if you want to come into the library, they can work on it there on our computers. Ms. Donna can make sure that they're doing everything, or whoever we have there, and
To be honest, like that sort of formatting, that's like a graphic artist like level.
Yeah, but I mean,
there are some apps out there they can use and email it. So, but yeah, they can definitely come into the library and and then just email it to Donna right then and there. So yeah,
all right.
So what happened to the old sign? Oh, the old sign.
it's sitting at the old warehouse right now. I mean, we could use it for some other. We still have the letters, so we can still use it for other things. I mean, it's pretty heavy. We didn't realize, but I mean, it took a crane just to get it over there.
Trailer, trailer or something.
Our guys tried to, kind of get, because that was as far as the company would go, is put it there, because they weren't going to do that, but I kind of asked them, begged them, and they said, we'll get it at least in front. And then we were thought, oh, we'll just get the guys to put it in there. It's like, no, you need about 20 guys to get it in there. So it's kind of sitting there. Hopefully we'll get some use out of it eventually.
All right. Well, with those changes, we'll go ahead and do we need to amend the motion?
Yeah, let's do it. I make a motion that we amend that no businesses will be allowed, and also the fee will be $15.
And
So,
nonprofit
in the
exemption.
nonprofit exemption. So the motion has been amended by Councilman Falcon. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Dominguez. We'll move on with a vote. Place 1,
Yes.
place 2, place 3,
Yes.
place 4,
Yes.
place 5.
Yes.
Motion carries. Just, I guess before we put it out there, just make those changes and.
We'll put on the, we'll put it on the website.
She said it.
This is a,
Are you gonna get it, baby?
They're gonna find out anyway. Child support.
That's it, child support.
we'll move on to item I, discuss, consider, and take action to approve an equipment disposition request to the state's Public Safety Office to transfer the city's 2020 Chevrolet Tahoe to San Patricio Sheriff's Office. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion that we approve the equipment deposition request to the State Public Safety Office to transfer the city's 2020 Chevrolet Tahoe to San Patricio Sheriff's Office.
So I have a motion by Councilman Candela. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Councilman Falcon. We'll go ahead and open up to discussion. The state kind of has been reaching out to us because we still have that grant, that Lone Star grant is still active. We haven't closed it completely, right? I think, or did we do it last time? I think that we did the final.
We just recently did the final, but it's still considered grant funded
Right.
equipment with among other
So they've been
things.
asking, about some of the equipment that was bought through the grant, what our intentions were. This was one of them. I think Sal, you had a conversation with them, and you can probably explain it better.
Well, the conversation came up because we had a few other or agencies ask about that, and I did some research, and and this was basically the first step in that case. Of course, since the sheriff's office is kind of taking care of us now, and my understanding, talking to the sheriff, was that they hope to hire a new deputy by the middle of this month, if everything goes according to their plan, that would be designated to Odem only. And one of the reasons for this ask is also because the vehicle's kind of just sitting there. I sometimes, or even maintenance has to break away from what we're doing to go and just run the engines once a week. And there's been instances where we just can't get to it, and that caused I think might have caused some issues with the fuel pump. We had to get that serviced, that kind of stuff, and we're also paying insurance on it still. So that's why we're trying just to get it to the agency that's sort of helping us right now with law enforcement.
So are they asking us to turn it in, or we're wanting to turn it in?
They're asking us
Because
what
this-
our intentions are with it.
So they're not asking for the vehicle.
No,
No.
No, that question came up, but then that also coincided with just requests I was getting from agencies. So I brought it up, and I'd actually reached out to the sheriff, and they were interested. And that's when he let me know that they are working on getting a designated deputy for Odem.
And the agency if we decide to, the agency has to be part of the Lone Star grant, which Sampat is. They're not getting any grant funding from the grant, but they are an active member of the Lone Star program, or the Texas Lone Star initiative. So they would qualify if we decided. If it was another agency that's not part of the initiative, then we couldn't hand it over to them. So
And this is just a request. I mean, the state could deny it. I wanted permission from the council to just at least put the request in if you so will.
So how many police vehicles do we have right now?
That's the only one.
That's the only one,
That's the
right?
only one we have, right? But we do have, that's still under the police department, we still have I believe it's a 2021 Durango. That still works. So we still have that.
The truck?
no,
The truck we transferred to maintenance,
we're
just,
using it
we're
right
using it in
now.
the maintenance department.
Um,
So, I mean, it can always go back, right, if you wanted it to.
But we do have that Durango. I think that it doesn't have all the bells and whistles yet, but it was the police department's. I think it was under the police
It
department.
still is, yeah.
And I think we still, have to go and continue turning it on and stuff like that. So,
I mean,
If-
once we hand the vehicle over, go under ours, right?
Correct, right.
Now, you understand that with Tito's, we're still active.
We're inactive.
No, we're still active, but we haven't filled the spot. You're still technically having to do all the reports and all that. The police chief used to do reports, so that should come from City Hall. There's reporting that needs to be done, just to.
That's one of at the beginning of October, I got a bunch of calls from different agencies asking, are you active or inactive? Because they found us to be inactive because there was no one there. So it doesn't like, how do you put it? We still have a police department.
Yeah, we
right?
didn't- we're
It's
not
just-
dissolved.
It's not dissolved, right?
No.
Right. The state still recognizes we have it, but
You're
we,
still
it's,
active, but haven't filled the position. So I don't know if you've gotten any request from the state that, hey, you haven't done this report, or you haven't done this.
I have with the response, and they've guided me. They said, look,
Right.
since you don't have an actual active police department, then just state this and send it back to me, and we'll stop asking you for this report.
and it's
'Cause we
for the
rec-
grant.
Right, well,
No.
it's for multiple
Okay.
aspects of multiple aspects of whether it's the codes that they use for the radios and that activity, and then stuff with registered sex offenders, that sort of stuff, that the PD would have normally handled. So we're getting all that stuff transferred out in the meantime. But right, it's either active or inactive.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a $65,000 vehicle with all equipment, computer, and everything. It's a $65,000 vehicle.
Well, they'll take it off
Hmm.
our grant, what they'll kind of like eliminate.
Well, I mean,
It looks good for
the
us.
grant money's already been used
so-
to pay for the vehicle, so it's it's not something
We don't know.
that we the only thing is that, because I think one of the questions is because our police department isn't, and again, it's kind of it's just really the wording, because we still haven't dissolved the police department. So technically, we do have a police department, but our department is inactive right now because we don't have anybody that's manning it. So how long we're going to still be part of this Lone Star initiative because our police department's inactive, at some point they may say, you know what, you guys are no longer part of the Lone Star, so that vehicle needs to go to somebody who's, that's part of this. So we're just, Sal was talking to me about it because he has been getting questions, and I said, well, you know what, let's just put it on the agenda. Let's see what feedback we get. This is just really to go to the state and ask,
Right.
can we do this? Obviously, he would still have to bring it back to us or to y'all to say, look, I talked to the state. The state said, yes, we can do this. How do you guys want to move forward? Do you want to? So this is not really you guys aren't making a decision to give the vehicle up right now. We're making a decision so Sal can submit the paperwork to if we decide to transfer it, we can transfer it to it's step one of, I guess, step one of two, I guess. I mean,
Probably multiple with the state, but I mean, I'm sure it's gotta get
I
approved.
guess the overall question would be is, what is in the future for the police department for Odem before we can make that decision? And I thought that after a couple of years, we would get a 1 or 2 man police person back in. And I would hate to get rid of that vehicle if that's gonna be the case, but I don't know that that's the case. We still have to.
So revenue, all the revenue, finances, I understand all that. I mean, yeah, I think what y'all are asking, if it was me, I wouldn't really pass on it, only because what's the plan for the future of Odem? What's the plan? But I think me personally, if you have somebody here, it's timing, it's different. And I see it during school, I see it perform during school, and then after school, I see what they're doing. But hey, they do a good job. They get us by, and they're here to take care of the citizens, and that's not. I just think, me personally, I think locally, eventually we're gonna need a police department that's, close to growing. But I don't know what timing that is. So.
Yeah, you're right, it could take 2, maybe a little longer, because, we have to raise the revenue to support the police department.
And my optimism would say if we're doing that well and it's that far in the future, we're gonna be eligible for grants again, and then we can potentially buy a vehicle through a grant again, or we have enough money to
But it's
finance
a lot
it.
easier to fill a person if you already have the biggest expense, which is that vehicle. It's a lot easier to put somebody there. You already have the vehicles in place without having to have that expense.
Right.
Are y'all paying insurance?
Councilman,
yeah,
Yes.
we still cover the insurance on the vehicle,
I have
and
insurance.
it's
it's a 2020. That's 5, it's 5 years old, it's.
and I understand. I think we've had that. I've had that discussion.
Warranty.
I think I've had that discussion with some of the council members, and and we still, yeah, we do have some houses being built. But it's going to be a few years before that tax revenue is really going to make a difference. To where we can actually support, because we can't really, at no point can we just hire one person. When we do decide to go active again, it's going to have to be at least 2 people. You're going to have a chief and an officer,
And a clerk.
maybe even a clerk. So, you're still looking at, $500,000 to run that department effectively with 3 people. And I'm hoping that, hopefully in the next 2 or 3 years, we're in that kind of position. I don't know, how quickly can you build houses? So we'd love to be in that position.
Miles? That I don't know. I could get that for you though.
Because I know what you're saying, 2020, but keep in mind, that thing wasn't modified probably till 2 or 3 years later.
It's not on the paperwork, it's not on the.
Well, I know how manufactured vehicles work, that's what I'm saying. It's like when I buy limousines, I'm buying a 2 or 3 year limo that's brand new, but they stretched it a couple of years later. That's the same with ambulances, same way with, police vehicles, and even with fire engines. That's
I don't, Epi, you could go ahead. Epi, go ahead.
I was gonna say, at this point, we need to get back to, I guess the issue here is, are they gonna approve a request?
Right.
And go forward from there.
So again, we'll go back to that. It's just a request for Sal to go ahead and submit the paperwork to the state. If the state says that it's okay, that we can, then we'll have to put it back on the agenda. Give some time for you guys to kind of mull it over and decide, come next.
I think, but just a timeout. I'm gonna call you on that because yeah, you're saying we have to get back to the agenda, but the discussion that we're having
I agree.
is part of
I agree.
what y'all are asking us
No,
to
it's-
do.
You gotta be specific.
You're asking us to approve the request. You're asking us to do that. And I think the discussion we're having,
It's a good discussion.
it's a good discussion,
Just good
will
But it's-
enable us to
it's-
make a decision.
It's not part of the agenda item, anything but police officer. All it is the equipment. There's nothing about police officers or anything. You gotta stay on topic.
So on the vehicle.
Yeah, it's
I
on the
mean,
vehicle.
So, go ahead, I'm sorry. Hold on. Yeah, hold on.
All right.
Epi?
Okay.
I think it was kind of bouncing back and forth, you know, keeping the police department and going into there, and, I mean, that's totally a separate, but then the issue is talking about the condition of the car, the price of the car, what's the miles of that car. All those are, you know, actually, those are good points to discuss, because then you can make a decision as to whether is it worth giving up this vehicle or keeping it. But as far as, and this is just my view, as far as, you know, what's the future of the police department at this point, that's a totally different topic at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we go into a different
Right,
area.
No,
right.
you agree with that?
No, I agree. So, I mean, any other discussion? Again, this is just, to give, Sal the, I guess, approval to go ahead and get with the state about transferring this vehicle.
Mayor, just
We can get, if you have any other questions on the condition of the vehicle or like mileage and stuff, just get with Sal. I mean, give him a phone call during the week. He can get whatever, or you gotta kind of come and check out the vehicle yourself and see what condition it's in, if you want to put your hands and eyes on it as well. Go ahead.
Just point of order. This gentleman right here said that he said that I wanted to.
No, I didn't say y'all, I said the council.
Well, we're not
Just-
right now.
we're
Hold
not
on.
talking about that. Just
And then.
don't go out there saying,
Okay.
just, that's it.
No, don't worry.
So,
Any kind of mistake, that's all.
hold on. Right now, we're not talking about the police department.
At this point, hold on, Mayor.
Yes,
At
sir.
this point, you got control of the meeting, okay?
Yeah.
You know, you can either allow him to speak or not.
Hey, hold on. There's not gonna be no cussing. There's not gonna be no cussing. There's not gonna be no cussing. No more cussing. There won't be no cussing. We're having a discussion. We're not going to have any cussing. If you want to have a conversation, we will have a conversation, but we're not going to be cussing at each other. Okay, hold on. Okay, go ahead. Calm down. Go ahead.
She is
No,
accusing, no.
We're not-
Listen to what I'm telling you.
We're not talking about that.
No, we are not. She just accused Chucky of running that, truck.
I don't know what
The fire
truck.
truck.
Well, I don't know what truck we're talking about. So
The fire truck.
okay, so that's something that can be taken care of outside. I didn't hear what was said.
Oh,
So,
you didn't hear what she
so
said.
no, I didn't. So,
Go back
go
to
ahead.
your place.
So let's go ahead and move back.
Please, I mean, that is totally off subject.
Yes.
No, listen, I want to be
Okay.
respectful to you, but you got to respect the procedures that this council has. Well, listen, come on,
Okay.
you're smarter than that. Come on.
Let's go ahead. So we're gonna go ahead and move forward with, if there's no more discussion on this vehicle, to approve, giving Sal permission to move forward with this. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the vote. Place 1?
No.
Place 2? Place 3?
No.
Place 4?
Yes.
Place 5?
Yes.
Motion carries 3-2. Sal, just kind of look into that with the state, see, and then we'll bring it up at the January meeting so we can decide on how we're going to move forward with that.
Okay.
All right. We'll move on to item, the adjournment. Do I have a motion?
No, not yet.
Huh?
Not yet.
Oh.
That's embarrassing.
Oh, that's right. Hold on, before we adjourn, I forgot that today's Mr. Epi's birthday. So happy birthday, sir, and thank you for everything you do for us. You're keeping us. You've been You've been going through a lot. You've been helping us a lot throughout the last year, and I really, really appreciate the work you've been doing for us. So thank you very much. Happy birthday
Happy
to you, and hope you have many more. All right, thank you.
Make motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, second by Councilman Candela. Meeting's adjourned. I don't have my little hammer.
I just want to.